Prince Harry seems to have taken another dig at the royal family by revealing that he lacked a support system upon his return from Afghanistan, and that the emotional aftermath of his mother, Princess Diana's death, was never openly addressed. The Duke of Sussex has launched a new series titled Heart of Invictus on Netflix, where he takes a leading role alongside injured veterans. His wife, Meghan Markle, makes brief appearances throughout the series to offer her support. In the series, Prince Harry shares that it wasn't until his return from his 2008 deployment in Afghanistan that he recognized the lingering trauma from Diana's tragic passing in 1997 when he was just 12 years old. He candidly expresses that the most challenging part for him was the absence of a proper support network to help him navigate his emotional struggles. He emphasizes, "I didn't have that support structure, that network, or that expert advice to identify what was actually going on with me." Prince Harry also mentions his experience with seeking therapy, noting that often people only consider it when they're at their lowest point. He explains, "Unfortunately, like most of us, the first time you consider therapy is when you are lying on the floor in the fetal position, probably wishing you had dealt with some of this stuff previously. And that's what I really want to change." The Netflix series showcases the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in various moments, including a private exchange before a speech at a veterans event in New York in November 2021. Harry reveals his nervousness to Meghan, stating, "We haven't done this for a while. My heart is like digidigidigadida." The series aims to shed light on post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and trauma experienced in war zones, using Harry's own experiences as a basis for discussion. The release of the documentary comes ahead of the Invictus Games, scheduled for September 9 in Dusseldorf, an event that Prince Harry is actively involved in as an executive producer. This project is part of the couple's media endeavors with Netflix, following their controversial documentary released last year that touched on their relationship with the royal family. In the series, Prince Harry also engages in a conversation with Canadian indoor rower Daryl Ling about trauma. While acknowledging that he can't fully understand Ling's experiences, Harry shares his personal struggle with emotional suppression after his mother's death. He admits, "I had that moment in my life where I didn't know about it, but because of the trauma of losing my mom when I was 12, for all those years, I had no emotion, I was unable to cry, I was unable to feel." Overall, the Heart of Invictus series serves as a platform for Prince Harry to openly discuss his personal battles with trauma, his journey towards seeking support, and his commitment to changing the narrative around mental health struggles. "I wasn't aware of it at that time. It wasn't until later in my life, at the age of 28, that a certain event occurred. It was then that the first few bubbles of emotions started emerging, and suddenly it felt as if someone had shaken them, resulting in an explosive release, and chaos ensued. My emotions seemed to splatter everywhere I went, much like paint on a wall. I found myself wondering, how on earth do I control this? I went from feeling nothing to feeling everything, and now it seemed like I needed to place myself in a glass jar. My therapist advised me to place myself in that jar, leave the lid open, and select what I allow in, while letting everything else bounce off." Army veteran Harry, who completed 2 tours in Afghanistan, one from 2007 to 2008, and the other from 2012 to 2013, also reflects on how he had never intended to serve in the armed forces after becoming a father. During a hike with former Invictus Games competitors D.G. Chalmers and David Wiseman, the Duke, who is the father of Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, shares, "I always saw myself as the kind of father who wouldn't serve while raising kids. And both of you did, right? It's never just the individual signing up. It's the entire family making that commitment." Wiseman mentions that his wife Lucy was pregnant when he got injured in Afghanistan. The series begins with a scene from July 2021, where Harry warmly greets Chalmers and Wiseman with hugs and a cheerful "morning, lads," at what appears to be his residence in Montecito, California. Harry suggests, "Shall we go for a hike?" as the trio gets into a car driven by him. The documentary also showcases a speech Harry gave at the Games in The Hague in April of the previous year. In his speech, he addresses the competitors, stating, "It's here at the Invictus Games that you realize whatever burdens you carry have propelled you to the next level." to become the best version of yourself, the version that you, your partners, and your children missed. During an interview, the Duke emphasizes the importance of discussing mental health within the armed forces. He remarks, "Back when I joined the military, mental health and mental illness were taboo topics. One of my proudest accomplishments is the work that David Wiseman and I did, giving talks to military personnel. We encourage them to consider that if mental health is mistaken for mental illness, even though it's not, then let's put that aside and focus on mental fitness. If there's stigma in the military, that same stigma will be present in society. To truly eliminate the stigma, we must lead by example." Addressing the camera directly, Harry adds, "This resonates deeply with me because I've always felt that every life lost could have been saved. As a society, we can do better, especially for those who've served their country. From what I've witnessed through the Invictus Games and this community, as well as my own experiences, when you set your mind to something, positivity usually emerges." Harry also talks about Invictus Games competitors overcoming challenges, as footage shows athletes succeeding at the 2014 tournament and one athlete stumbling in the 200 meters race. The Duke reflects, understanding how bleak it can get, and how bleak it has been for some of these individuals, taking one step forward and then facing 3 steps back. Yet the more they persist, the more individuals manage to climb out of that trench they've been stuck in. They shift their focus from the past to the future, and this shift ripples through their families and communities. That's our goal here. Harry also expresses frustration about the media's interference during his deployment to Afghanistan, noting, "The reason I was able to go to Afghanistan in the first place was due to its secrecy. For the 10 weeks I was there, only the British press knew, and they agreed to maintain silence for access." Harry's cover was eventually blown in 2008 by the American website The Drudge Report, breaking the news blackout. The website declared an exclusive with the headline, "They're calling him Harry the Hero." Reflecting on that moment in the documentary, Harry adds, "Being suddenly on the way home, I was filled with anger. However, it was crucial for the safety of everyone around me to remove me. The experience of returning from Afghanistan was deeply impacted by that flight home. As we took off, the curtain in front of me blew open, revealing the air hospital. I could see 3 young British soldiers wrapped in plastic, their bodies in pieces. I witnessed what had only been talked about before. That was the true catalyst for me to understand the real cost of war. It wasn't just about those individuals, but also about their families and the profound, lasting changes in their lives." As I disembarked from the plane, a wave of anger swept over me, directed at the fate these men had faced. I was also frustrated by the lack of media attention on their stories. However, at that moment, the course of action wasn't entirely clear to me. In another part of the documentary, Harry shares his thoughts 2 days prior to the Invictus Games held in The Hague last year. He expresses relief at finally being there after numerous delays due to the global pandemic and the chaotic events occurring worldwide, including the situation in Ukraine. He reflects, given all the chaos happening globally, like in Ukraine, it's a relief to be at the Games now, surrounded by people who've patiently waited since 2020. The journey here has been tumultuous, and I can't even fathom the challenges that these individuals and their families have endured during their training period. They've had more time to prepare than most, so I'm hopeful for some incredible sporting moments. He acknowledges the importance of the support network for the participants and emphasizes that the Invictus Games provide a form of group therapy for everyone involved. Megan appears briefly in the documentary, speaking at the opening ceremony of the Games. She introduces Harry to the stage, expressing gratitude for the service of the participants and the unwavering support from their friends and families. After her introduction, they share a kiss as she hands over the microphone. Harry takes the stage, emphasizing the significance of the human spirit, the ability to recover, and the strength that comes from resilience. He commends the participants for their determination and their role in inspiring and educating the world through their journey. Before the Games, Harry addresses Team UK, acknowledging their commitment and sacrifice. He speaks to the indomitable spirit that remains within those who have served and assures them that it's okay to express their emotions, even to the point of tears. The documentary also delves into the Ukrainian Invictus team's experiences during the Russian invasion of Ukraine in March 2022. Oksana Horbach, the team manager, shares the challenges they faced, both in terms of security and the loss of team members in the war. This tragic reality hits hard as some members are no longer present due to capture or death in action. A Ukrainian competitor presents Harry with an album depicting the situation in their homeland. He reflects on the weight of their circumstances and the trauma they've endured due to the invasion. Another participant featured is Paul Jenkins, the captain of the British wheelchair rugby team. He recounts the moment he survived a heart attack after being clinically dead for 27 minutes, thanks to his wife performing CPR. Jenkins speaks weeks before the games, candidly discussing his absence from active participation due to his near-death experience. He acknowledges the straightforward truth of his situation. He survived because of the CPR administered by his wife. I was clinically dead for 27 minutes, and if it hadn't been for my wife, I don't think I'd be alive to share this story. And that idea of seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, honestly, who actually sees a light there? There was nothing when I experienced it, that's for sure. It was complete darkness throughout. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also makes an appearance, speaking via video call to the competitors. He says, "To our military officers, esteemed heroes, veterans, and those supporting our incredible athletes, I believe you haven't left our country behind. It's an honor for us that you're representing Ukraine. As for the medals, the most significant reward is that you found the strength to compete. However, there's a reason we hope for at least one medal. We'll replicate it many times, trust me. You all truly deserve gold medals. You're our gold." On Monday, Prince Harry made a surprise appearance at the premiere in Chula Vista, where 2 episodes were screened for an audience of veterans and their families. Dressed in a cream blazer and white shirt, Harry lightened the mood by joking with the crowd, "Great to see you all. Thank you for dressing up for the occasion. No suits and ties." After the screening, he posed for photos with attendees and expressed his gratitude. "I want to extend a huge thank you for being here tonight. You all get to watch Heart of Invictus, a project that's been 2 years in the making before anyone else." In the trailer for Heart of Invictus, Prince Harry, the youngest son of the king, speaks directly to the camera, saying, "The games aren't about dwelling on the cause of the injury. They're about recovery and reintegrating into a community." The Duke was also captured interacting with competitors, acknowledging, "Everyone will face challenges at some point." According to Netflix's description, Heart of Invictus follows a group of exceptional competitors worldwide, service members who've encountered life-altering injuries or illnesses on their journey to the Invictus Games. Competitors shared their struggles, with one woman noting in Ukrainian, "I need Invictus to rehabilitate myself. But the ongoing war doesn't allow us to relax." Another woman was seen on a group video call before the sound of shelling interrupted. The footage also showcased Prince Harry on stage at the Invictus Games, an event he established in 2014 as a Paralympic-style sports competition for injured military personnel and veterans. He expressed, "If your aim was to make your country proud, you've achieved it. If your aim was to bring happiness to your family, you've succeeded. You embody substance, resilience, and strength. You possess the heart of Invictus." The series, initially announced over 2 years ago, is produced by Harry and Meghan's Arcool Productions. Directed by Orlando von Einsiedel and produced by Joanna Natasegara, who previously collaborated on the Oscar-winning short film The White Helmets. In response to the documentary's release, anti-racism activist and social commentator Imarn Ayton remarked on ITV's Good Morning Britain, "This reminds me of why I initially liked Harry. It's truly inspiring. But as for the rebranding, I'm not convinced it will work. The damage has been done." Rupert Bell, Talk TV's royal correspondent, also shared his thoughts. "I give the first episode a solid 7 out of 10. It's captivating. Harry is truly at the core of it. It's his brainchild, and he shares his perspective, the reason behind its creation, including his return from Afghanistan." There's a brief reference to their appearance in New York, with Meghan in a red dress and a casual remark about not making such appearances often. Meghan is noticeably absent. This is very much Harry's endeavor, and the stories they follow are heartwarming, the essence of the series. Sky News royal correspondent Laura Bundock stated that the origin of the Invictus Games stems from Prince Harry's personal experience. His military service, particularly his time in Afghanistan, triggered the trauma of losing his mother when he was 12, which ultimately led to the creation of the Invictus Games. Contrary to the perception of another typical show featuring Prince Harry, this series stands apart. Laura Bundock emphasized the distinctiveness of this series compared to previous ones. She highlighted the multifaceted nature of Prince Harry's character that has been exposed to the public. However, this series focuses on a more comfortable territory for him, the Invictus Games. This cause holds immense personal significance for him, and he is enthusiastic about promoting it. In a year marked by negativity surrounding Prince Harry's actions and statements, this initiative signifies a positive step forward. Even critics of Prince Harry would acknowledge the Invictus Games as a commendable project, one that has achieved substantial success and is widely recognized as such. Laura Bundock added that even the royal family currently on vacation at Balmoral would likely find this project appealing to watch. During a visit to The Hague in the Netherlands last year, a camera crew accompanied Prince Harry and Meghan for the project. While there, Prince Harry conducted an interview with NBC's Today Show, where he subtly expressed his concern for Queen Elizabeth II's well-being and the people around her, without elaborating on whether he referred to royal aides or family members. After rumors circulated about the cancellation of the Sussexes' Spotify deal in June, there were speculations that their Netflix deal might face a similar fate. However, Netflix openly supported the couple, indicating that their partnership would continue. On August 24, a spokesperson for Prince Harry and Meghan confirmed that the Duchess would join the Duke at the upcoming Invictus Games. Although Meghan is expected to miss the opening ceremony, she plans to fly to Europe and join Harry shortly after the event starts. This year's Invictus Games will include participants from 21 nations, including new entrants Colombia, Israel, and Nigeria. Before the Invictus Games commence, Prince Harry will travel to the UK to attend an awards ceremony organized by the charity Well Child. This event, scheduled for September 7, will celebrate the achievements and resilience of seriously ill children and their families. Notably, this event falls on the eve of the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's passing. Prince Harry, who has been Well Child's patron for 15 years, frequently attends their annual awards ceremony. However, Meghan will not be present this time. In his video message on August 10, Prince Harry expressed anticipation for the Invictus Games and conveyed that the event is part of a continuous healing journey for all participants. He thanked them for their commitment and service and looked forward to a memorable and enjoyable event. Singer Rita Ora was also announced as a headline performer for the Invictus closing ceremony on September 16. Dear friend, if you like everything new about the royal family and don't want to miss all the novelties, subscribe to our channel and like it. By doing so, you take part in our development. We work for you.